Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 127. And in this one, we're just going to be getting into the Aston Villa game, and discussing a few other little bits, but predominantly the Aston Villa game. And then on Friday, we'll get into the preview to another massive game in the Premier League. For us, could arguably say it's our biggest game of the season, especially being at home. But obviously, we'll get into that nearer on the time. But yeah, like always, I'm joined with Dad. How are we?
Yeah, all good, mate. Excellent. Hope you're all
good.
cool.
Yeah, all good. But yeah, big up to everyone inside. There's a lot of people waiting, so big up. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So obviously we took on Aston Villa on Sunday. Both going into it, thinking we were going to lose. You've got to be realistic. Aston Villa, they're on fire. Especially at home, like we said, going into it, the way they beat teams in the manner they did, West Ham in the fashion they did, Brighton as well. It was always going to be a difficult game, but obviously the lineup for us was Kaminsky in goal, Doughty on the left, Kabore on the right. Obviously, a lot of us had the feeling that Kabore was going to start. Just for me, it's because, and I'll say it out, it's the PR in training. Because he looked good in training. People thought he was going to start, and it's just one of them. I just knew when it comes to the game, it wouldn't be as good. But yeah, obviously he was on the right. Osho, Lockyer, and Menji. Obviously, Osho was always going to start, because of the defensive injuries. Also, with the fact, he played in the development squad during the week leading up to it. It made sense. Obviously, it was good to see. Him playing in the Premier League. Obviously, that was his first time doing that for us. Obviously, Lockyer and Menji. And then the midfield was Nakamba, and it seemed like Barkley was where Ruddock has been, alongside Nakamba. And then Chio, Morris, and Brown. Still Brown starting, which I was surprised about. I thought it'd maybe be Chong instead. I didn't quite think Townsend, because I think he's still getting into the swing of things. But I thought maybe Chong, we've seen a few times when he's started, he's looked good, even though he hasn't got a goal or assist yet. The Forest game previously looked good in the first half. So, yeah, I thought he'd start again, even when he come on against Burnley, for example. He's good in that as well. But it was sort of what I expected. Obviously, I wanted ideally Chio on the right, but then again, we haven't really got anyone else, so we have to go with Kabore sometimes. It's one of them. But yeah, it was literally what I said, bar what I'd have went with, bar Brown and Kabore. But your thoughts on that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, defensively, like that's probably what we could go with. Preferably we might have, because we sort of had five at the back. We could have had potentially Bell there instead of Doughty. Doughty got, a bit run ragged a little bit. Kabore had to start, another option. And then, yeah, a little bit surprised about Brown, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and obviously the bench, I'll go through the bench as well. Elijah, Chong, Giles, Johnson, Krul, Luca, Ruddock, Townsend and Woodrow, and it does show we've got injuries, especially defensively. When no disrespect to the youngsters, obviously big up to them, but you're seeing two youngsters on the bench. Johnson, we're seeing quite a bit. Obviously he come on against Middlesbrough last season, but yeah, it is a bit worrying, seeing that, especially away at Villa. But yeah, going into the first half, in a sense, the way that the first half started off, it was similar to Tottenham in the sense where they could have been 2 or 3 up, early on, if we're being honest. Kaminsky, brilliant double save on the Watkins opportunity, especially with how Watkins has been this season. You'd back him to score there, but Kaminsky done very well, double save. As much as Kaminsky's pulled out some really good saves this season, I didn't expect him to save it once there, let alone twice, just due to the form Watkins has been on. They had another chance as well. Can't remember who it was, but it's just wide on the left side. And yeah, they were having chances galore, and it didn't matter if it was coming from the left or the right. They were peppering both sides really. But yeah, obviously the chances there. And then a bit early on in the game, 17th minute, they did get a goal. McGinn, Now, it's a frustrating goal to concede because the free kick, I think Kabore gave it away, if I'm correct. Not shock, is it?
Yeah, he did. He got as well.
Yeah, he got booked for it. Yeah, no, exactly. And then obviously McGinn, like I say, player of his quality, you cannot be giving him space and time. You know, throughout the times when I've watched Villa on the occasion, you know, he can ping a ball. You know, no one's marking him. It's terrible. It's terrible. You know, Douglas Luiz has played it out to him, edge of the box, and there you go, 1-0 just like that. And yes, they're a good side, but come on, man, you cannot be giving them goals like that. Do you know what I mean? Frustrating. But what did you make of our start and their goal that they got?
Yeah, like we expected them to be. They're full of confidence. That's the thing, you know. The team that's full of confidence is always going to pass it around well. Try these, especially when they've got certain qualities in their team as well. We just sort of looked too rigid at times, but it weren't too bad, really. To go in 1-0 at half time. Kabore was defensively all over the place in the first half. And we've seen that quite a lot this season. I'm not sure what it is. He must have the quality. I think it's just as I said before, he hasn't played in proper competitive games, so he's just got to kind of get used to it. So, but yeah, half expected, but not as bad as it could have been. Good saves from Kaminsky. Kept Watkins relatively quiet, but it was a little bit too passive at times.
Yeah.
Mate.
No, 100%. And yeah, like I say, they obviously got the goal. You know, I can't really think of us having too much chances in the first half. Like you say, we were quite passive. Moving into we'll just go straight over to the second half. Obviously, they brought on Leon Bailey. And then shortly after, they made it 2-0, which, you know, as soon as they'd done that, you know, me watching it, I just knew it's going to be a, you know, long afternoon or long half anyway, shall I say. Diaby with the goal. You know, good finish. He's another good player they've got. I can't remember if I said him or Bailey to score, but it's one of them two, one of their wide players. But yeah, good finish, but yeah, marking wasn't so great. What did you make of the second one?
Yeah, similar pattern to what has been happening. The cross, was allowed in. I think, just we can see too easily, don't we? And it always seems to be like on a number of occasions, like the first few minutes of the second half kicking off, and it kind of kills us a little bit. But all these things will even out over the season. Like we can see this patterns and stuff, and hopefully they'll be eliminated. But wasn't poor defending, but we can only deal with what we've got at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Osho, for me, obviously you could see I like Osho, but he's just come. It's his first sort of hour, I think it was. You could see he's definitely rusty, 100%. And you could see clearly that he was playing a bit like how all the other defenders were playing initially in the first two games against Brighton and Chelsea. Osho was like a little bit all over the place, to be fair, but that's because he hasn't played yet and got used to it. The training's probably helped him a little bit. He's going to need a few games to settle. But unfortunately, he hasn't got a few games to settle. Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit awkward. But getting forward, I saw him getting forward a few times. That was good to see. We need him to be doing that. We need to be getting more set pieces. But yeah, when a great goal to concede, but it's Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then obviously we made some changes, but still, like I say, for me personally, I'm sure you're the same, Dad. As soon as they get that early goal, with the form they've been on, it's going to be long, and that's how I felt. I felt there were good changes to make, go attacking, try and get something out of the game, similar to Forest. Obviously Townsend come on for Osho, Chong obviously come on for Brown, but yeah, it's just one of them with them getting that early goal. And then obviously Lockyer, unfortunately, got an own goal. It was one of them unlucky sort of, ones where he's tried to block it, but he's ended up, going with the ball in the net, unfortunately. And yeah, it was just not looking good. Is what I can say. But your thoughts on that third goal?
Yeah, we should have potentially, defend it, look for the danger earlier. Lockyer, yeah, there's nothing he could do. Like, not, I don't think any central defenders in the Premier League could have just managed to get that away. Do you know what I mean? What can I say? The whole defence was a little bit all over the place in this game, to be fair. But you can understand why.
Yeah.
And that Menji hasn't played with it. Menji probably was the best defender for me. And then it keeps right. You got Anderson now, you got Burkhardt, you got the bigger lads as well. Osho's first game back, Doughty coming back. Everyone was criticising Giles earlier on in the season, but Doughty was ineffective defensively in this game. And then Kabore was probably better in the end defensively than Doughty was. And that's all we can deal with. So we can't really grumble too much. And like I said earlier, against a team full of confidence, in form, players coming off the bench, or that's what happens.
Yeah.
But also, sorry, we were playing like just defending. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable to watch. I understand it, but we're too defensive, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like, for
And to
instance,
be fair, even in the Forest game, when we got the equaliser, we were starting to be like that, essentially for how we were in pretty much a whole Villa game. I don't know why, especially because I remember obviously we were watching it together and you were saying, let's try and push and get another one because we could have, the way the game was going. But yeah.
Yeah, so, for me, like, we just weren't attacking the ball at all, and it's frustrating to watch. Like, almost to the point of certain players being on the pitch pointless. Morris, no point. And my point is, if anyone watched the Brentford versus Chelsea game, they've done it. They did play defensively, but they've done it correctly. Do you know what I mean? They weren't where they would had the confidence to go forward, where they were trying it a little bit more. I think that's what we need to do, because as soon as we did go 3-0 down, then we just started going forward. There was a couple of occasions in the first half, with Chio, Doughty, and that going forward a little bit, but just it weren't enough. It's like twice or something, and then as soon as they scored the third, that's when we started going for it a little bit more, and we did look better. But yeah, I feel like sometimes we don't need to yet. Gave them too much respect.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then obviously made some more changes. Ruddock come on from the Canberra, Morris for Elijah, and then Giles actually come on, which is interesting. Obviously, we haven't seen him come on for a while. I don't even know the last time he did. Might have been the Exeter game, if I'm being honest. Obviously, yeah, he started in that one, didn't he? If I'm correct, so that might have been the last time we've actually seen him on the pitch. But it's been a while, either way. And then obviously, we were putting on a bit of pressure on him. Elijah was, Chong to a certain extent was. And then obviously we did get a goal, own goal by Martinez. But Elijah, you have to give him credit for me on that, because he's been in the box, and we've been saying that, we feel if he gets in the box more, then he'll score more goals. because obviously technically, we always say he's quality, but sometimes he's not in the box and in them positions, and he done it there, and yeah, it was an own goal, but he was, he put massive pressure on that to be an own goal by getting in the box and, being that nuisance in that sense. So fair play, we got a goal. I did get my score prediction right, but what did you make of the goal, Dad?
Yeah, again, good positive changes. Like I've noticed that a lot of our substitutions, they are genuinely do make an impact. If you remember when Chio was coming on and not starting, he was making an impact. Chong definitely made an impact, was playing some lovely passes, spraying it out wide, etc. Yeah, Elijah's just, you can see now what we wanted at the start of the season: get in the box, get in the area. You're going to cause problems for these defenders, no matter who they are. And that's how basically how the goal come about. He won the header, and then they panicked and thought, "Oh, I'm going to header it either back to my keeper or potentially over the bar." And that's what happens. You can create goals like that. So for me, if he's affecting the game like that, then he needs to be starting. But yeah, it was an own goal, but you got to credit Elijah, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Affected every time he's come. The last couple of games he's ever scored, or he's affecting things. And it could have been similar. If the ball would come in a bit lower, maybe he'd have got a better header on it and scored. So yeah.
Yeah, because when you think about it, 3 of the last 4 games he's affected when he's, played a part in it. Obviously, looking at the games now, Burnley obviously got the goal. It weren't his fault why we conceded.
Whereas Brown hasn't.
No. Like I keep saying, for me, Brown's not been good enough since the Fulham game. The Fulham game, I thought he was unlucky, but since then he's just not affected the games like Elijah has. Like I say, Burnley obviously got the goal. Tottenham, obviously that is the one that obviously I'm not saying he affected, but the other ones, Forest obviously got the equaliser, and then obviously Villa, was part of getting that goal. Not that it was going to change the game, but still got us a goal. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, let's go through some comments and then we'll get into the player ratings. Big up to Lewis for the super chat. Appreciate that, mate. He says, unlucky lads. Stats probably didn't justify game, but off them look poor, but can't judge. As couldn't find the stream. For the game. Fortunately, good luck for the season ahead. Same goes to you guys, Lewis. Big up to yourself again for coming on the other day. Appreciate that. But yeah, like we said, we were sitting back a bit too much, and it felt like we were giving you a bit too much respect. But yeah, I expected it to be, that sort of scoreline. Obviously I said that, so did you. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, good luck to Villa as well. Like I say, I want them to win the Conference League, to be honest. Do something similar to what West Ham did last year. And another team in claret and blue as well. That'd be pretty sick. So yeah, good luck to you lot as well. But Dad, anything you want to add on this?
Yeah, especially like in the last 15 minutes, we definitely looked better going forward. And as I said, the subs that come on playing well, so I'm sure we'll be all right. I think that's the closest that Villa, they beat West Ham 4-1, Brighton 6-1. So it's not that bad when you think about it. So the signs are still there, but we've got to, give a little bit more urgency to our own sort of forward play in that, in my opinion, because we have got certain players are showing that they're very dangerous going forward. So use it a little bit more. I feel like you can't be giving teams too much respect. And I discussed with you earlier. Obviously, we'll get into it on Friday, but the Liverpool game, at home, we just got to go for it. We can't be playing like that at home. No way, man, because that's just a recipe for disaster. You just got to go for it, and then you got to work out where you can do it away more. because we played similar to that. I think it was against Fulham because of the other away games, and it kind of worked a little bit against Fulham. We were a bit unlucky, and Brown was probably more effective in that game. So if we are going to play like that, you need the forward players who are going to take them chances in that to be on point, and then the game changes slightly. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting back. If it's like that against Villa, what's it going to be like against Man United? Are we going to play like that? Man City, I can understand it. Liverpool can understand it. But you've got to pick up some, we've done a right away, to be fair.
Done better away than at home.
Yeah, we can't be playing. We need to get some points at home.
Well, yeah. Like I said, for me, if we're to stay up, it'll be like how it was for Forest, where it comes down to home form. So we do need to definitely up that, especially when you games like Sunday, for example. Like you say, we can't be affording to sit back, not against Liverpool, not with the quality they've got, as well as Villa. So, especially being at home as well, that'd be stupid to do. Let's be honest. But yeah, big up yourself again for that, Lewis. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. So obviously we'll start off with Kaminsky. Again, it was another one of them games similar to what I said a lot of times at the start of the season for him. When we was conceding, the 4-1, the 3-0. He prevented them from being even more. The double save on the Ollie Watkins, I did not expect that at all, especially the form Watkins has been on. And, like I say, prevented it from being more. So, yeah, even though he conceded 3, none of them his fault for me. I'm saying I'm actually going with a decent rate. I'll go with a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well. Good double save. But it weren't as spectacular as they were making out. It was a little bit, lucky, but he was there. He's been, probably he's definitely better than Ethan. Time will tell whether he's one of the better keepers we've had over the years. I'd say that the signs are looking there. But again, early in the first half where he punched it out, I thought he didn't really need to be doing that. Some of his kicks out and things like that were a bit, but generally he weren't too bad. I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Kabore. Now, Kabore, what do people make since he's joined? Before I get into his rating, I mean, I don't know. Going forward, I think he's decent. We've seen that, but defensively, I'm not too sure. You see a few times in the Villa game, he's given away silly fouls, especially in the first half. In my opinion, he got away with not getting a yellow. It's an interesting one with him. It is, and sometimes even when he has gone forward, his crosses, they've not been great. Even in the Villa game, there was one that was poor. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure about it, to be honest. And Man City, before we officially got him, they said they want to keep him. If they're seeing these performances right now, surely they're going to loan him out again. Next season, you would think. But yeah, as for his rating, like I said, I wasn't too impressed with him this game. Defensively, like I say, not great again. Gave away a few fouls. There was a moment, where he was starting to get fouled. And he was doing okay, but defensively, man, his main job, I'm just not convinced. I do worry. I'm not going to lie. We are, without getting into the Liverpool game too much, but obviously if Diaz is still not available, due to obviously everything that's unfortunately going on for him, we're a bit lucky. It's not going to be Diaz versus Kabore, in my opinion, to get run ragged. Even if it's Jota, I'd worry. The only player I'm not as worried because he's not really that sort of skillful and technical is Gakpo compared to the others, but I worry, man. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, as for his rating, not too impressed with him at all, to be honest. And I haven't really been since he's come in. I'm going with 5.5.
I won't be that harsh because I do feel like he made a couple of good tackles, especially the second half. He was definitely better in the second half. It's just too inconsistent. I'm not sure what to make of him at the moment. And in January, I'd be looking at getting someone else in, but I just don't think we've got the space unless we start selling players that are here, or loaning players out that are here, which could potentially happen. We might loan Johnson out and then try and get a right back in. He definitely improved, but a goals, the crosses are just getting past him every single time. Clumsy challenges. I'm just going to give him a 6.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to Doughty, like we say, not one of Doughty's greatest games, compared to what we've seen before. He was struggling at times. Obviously, he did get a yellow card. Like I say, not great from him. I'll go straight in with a 6.
No, I'll give him a 6.5. Defensively, yeah, he's poor. The yellow card, I can see why he done that. Sometimes you've got to take one for the team. Going forward, a couple, but not. He just weren't as involved as he normally is. So maybe, and he's played a hell of a lot of games recently. So potentially, maybe time to give him a rest. And I think that's another reason why I think Giles did come on for him. But it's 6.5.
Fair enough. And then moving on to Osho, obviously, like I say, good to see him, have his Premier League debut. He's deserved it. Obviously, it's massive for us last season, turnaround he had as a player, started off, obviously getting that red card against Watford. At least he showed passion, was the only player that did that game, for being honest. And then obviously turned it around, scored in the reverse fixture, and, was just vital for us. It's good to see that he's, finally playing in the Prem. Obviously he's getting minutes under his belt, like you said earlier. So obviously it's not going to be a wicked start, especially in a different league as well. But I don't think he was awful. To be honest, I'll just go with another 6.
Yeah, 6. He was trying, but he you could tell it was his, like I said earlier, it was his first Premier League game. So I'm sure that there's more to come from him. 6.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Then moving over to Lockyer, obviously, unfortunately got the own goal as an unlucky one. Like you said earlier, out of the defence is in the centre backs. I'd agree with you. I said it when we were watching it. Menji was the best one. Not the greatest game I've seen from Lockyer, but it wasn't awful. Like I say, the own goal was unlucky. Again, I'll go with another 6.
Yeah, 6. A couple of his passes were astray as well. He did make couple good tackles. But you can see he's like struggling. He's getting found out a little bit. Let's be honest. Maybe that'll change if he gets a more settled, partnership in the defence and things like that. But he wins his headers. He still wins his headers in the division, which is good. But the other play, pace, he's getting done for it each and every time, just things like that. 6.
Fair enough. And then, like we say, the best defender, in our opinion, during that game, out of the centre backs, Menji. Probably now with the defensive injuries, we've got Menji is going to be a regular now. Another benefit about him, since he's come in, and obviously I said it when we signed him, is he can play on the left and the right side of centre back as well, which is obviously going to benefit us, especially with Bell being out, Potts being out, that sort of thing. But yeah, obviously, as for his performance in this game, I'll say I thought he was all right. To be fair, I was happy with him. He's showing good signs. Because even when he was at Man U, he didn't play Premier League games. Played Champions League games a few times, but he didn't play in the Prem. So it's sort of a new experience for him, as well in that sense. And he's been impressive so far, from being honest, in a lot of games I've seen. Even games like Everton, for example, when he's come on in that, he's been massive, influential in helping us get that result over the line. And it's been like that a few times. I think even against Forest, I had him up there for man of the match. So if I was to give one, I'd probably go with him, even though we conceded 3. So yeah, like I say, I was impressed with Menji. I can't go too high because, like I say, obviously we did concede 3. So I'll go with a 7.
I'll give him 6.5. I mean, he's definitely willing. He's definitely going to get better in that. But a couple of the goals, the own goal was him attempting to clear it. It was a bit unlucky. The second goal, we just got sort of done for not really pace, but just position. And then he had a headed chance. Potentially, he could have left it for Elijah, and he just snatched it.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
you can see that he's got that quality. And he's been starting the last few games. I'll give him a 6.5.
Fair enough. And then moving on to the midfield, we will start off with Ross Barkley. Now, I don't think he was too bad. I was actually a little bit surprised that he started. I'm going to be honest, and the only reason I say that is because obviously we've been playing more with 2 sort of midfielders, haven't we? Obviously Nakamba and someone else, and he's more of an attacking one. Obviously Ruddock can do a bit of both, you know. So I was surprised in that sense, but I thought he was okay. He's pinging a few balls. Obviously, we know he's good at that. We saw that when he come on in the Forest game. He's got that quality when it comes to that sort of things. And yeah, I don't think he was too bad. It's one of the better games I've seen of him. I wouldn't say it's the best game I've seen of him so far. It's probably the Forest one because of the impact he made as well as all the others that come on. But yeah, I thought he was okay. I'll go with 6.5.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give him 6.5. You can see he's getting better, more confident. Like you say, his passing was better, his patience, tenacity in the second half where he nearly created a chance for Elijah late on. So I think that he might end up starting quite regularly if he continues to play as he's doing. 6.5.
Yeah. And then moving on to Nakamba, obviously got a good reception. Obviously, rightly so. Obviously at his former club, and I thought he was okay. Again, it's not the best Nakamba game I've seen, but it wasn't awful. He's still getting stuck in. Making them tackles. Winning the ball a few times. Like I say, I've seen better. I'll just go straight in with a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. I agree. The thing is, because of the way we were set up and stuff, we were all doing the Nakamba basically. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it didn't really enable him to play because he's good at like snapping out the danger when we're playing in different ways. Do you know what I mean? And didn't really enable him to do that. We didn't really utilize that. I'm sure at home he'll have a massive, especially against Villa, he'll have a massive impact. But 6.5.
Yeah. And then moving on to Brown. We'll start off with Brown out of the front 3 first. Like I say, I was surprised that he started. Just for me, he hasn't been great since that Fulham game. I thought Chong would go in ahead. Like I say, I didn't think Townsend just because, he's getting into the swing of things still. But yeah, it's not really affecting the games for me. Since that Fulham game, really, it's not. Yeah, like people say, he comes back, does all right, helps out defence. Yeah, fair enough, but that's not his main job. Do you know what I mean? His main job's scoring, assisting, affecting the play up front, and he's not really doing that for me. Look at the Forest game, for example. He had that header, didn't he? Just got to be doing better there. And yeah, I can't really think too much from him in this game, if I'm being honest. So I'm going with I'm going 5.5, same as Kabori.
I'll give him a 6. I think he was meant to be sort of kind of playing more up front, and the way we were playing it just weren't really working. Same as with Morris as well. He's working hard, but you got to act more than that sometimes, Yeah, I think it's time to put Elijah up there. So yeah, I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on we'll go over to Chio. Again, looked good. Was trying to make things happen on the occasions when we did have the odd chances. Showing that he still deserves to start. At least he's affecting games, trying to make things happen. And it was one of them again for him. So I'll go with a 6.5.
I'm going to give him a 7. Man of the match for me. All the good stuff going forward pretty much was coming from him. Chance he created for Morris in the first half, where the keeper just got to it. A lot of our good play going forward was coming from him. Confidence, done a little trick in the second half as well, like things like that. Just looked and got fouled a couple of times. He was definitely our best player, I think. So man of match 7.
Yeah, he was. If I was to do a man of match, he would be close. I was thinking him or Menji, to be fair. So yeah, and then moving on to Morris. It was one of them games where it wasn't terrible, but he wasn't. Yeah, sometimes he has these games where he's not really in it, sort of thing. Like, and obviously, it's one of them where even though I felt the game was done, like I said earlier, with them getting that early goal in the second half, you felt he had to come off. Especially for Elijah. To be fair, you even saw it in the last game. He come off, and then we got 2 goals. So it's good that we're not as reliant on him as we were at the start of the season, because he was the only one, chipping in with goals, really, wasn't he? 2 or more anyway. But now Elijah's obviously got 2 as well, so at least it's not just as reliant on him as it felt. Even in games at the start of the season, we were saying you've got to put Morris in, you've got to put Morris in. Obviously, you still have to, but you can put the options around of people that are going to help him, excuse me, back up with the goals sort of thing. So, yeah, it wasn't a great game from him, but again, it was a bit difficult for him to, get service at times because of how passive we were. So I'll go with a 6.
I'm going to give him a 5. Thought he was pretty ineffective, even though the way we were playing, like, I don't know if it's just not chasing the ball down as much as I think that Elijah probably would if we were playing like that and he was still starting up front. Just not a lot. Even when we was getting in sort of good situations, it was like coming back, holding up the play and things like that. Probably was more down to the tactics, but 5. Because if you play like that away, there's just it's like what's going to happen. So you need to tell him to try and change it a little bit or whatever. I don't know, but it's just ineffective.
Yeah. And then moving on to the subs, Townsend, I thought he was decent. Tried, affecting the game similar to Forrest when he come on. Playing them balls across, getting on the ball and trying to make things happen. A player of his experience, his quality. When it comes to the Premier League, it's right that he should be trying to do that. I thought he was okay. To be honest. So trying to make things happen. I'll go with 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. You can see where he's coming on. He's got that quality. He's done some nice passing with Chio. Always trying to look to get the ball forward. Makes a couple of good tackles as well. Tries to G up the rest of the team. It's good. It's looking good for him. And no doubt, potentially, he might get that start in the next game. I would not be surprised at all. 6.5.
No, neither would I. Especially, excuse me, if it being Liverpool at home, his experience, I wouldn't be surprised. Excuse me. And then moving on to the next player, Chong, who obviously come on at the same time. I thought he was decent. Like I say, for me, I thought he'd maybe started. Also, another thing I thought of as well, and I think Lewis mentioned it when he was on here, is obviously the Chong factor. Playing for Birmingham, sometimes you never know. Them sort of players can haunt you, sort of thing. So that's another reason I thought he'd maybe start, and why I'd have went with him as well. But I thought he was okay when he come on, similar to Townsend in senses. Obviously, Townsend was, obviously got more experience, but Chong was still trying to make things happen, get on the ball, go forward like we've seen him do a few times. Again, I'll go with another 6.5.
Yeah, definitely. He's a positive change. Played some good passes, looked lively. yeah, 6.5.
Yep. And then moving on to Ruddock. Again, like I said earlier, I was surprised that he didn't start, just due to the fact, obviously Barkley's more attacking. Ruddock can do a bit of both. But I thought he was okay. Obviously, we were 3-0 down. It was a long second half, so I'm just going to say a 6.
I'll give him 6.5. I thought he was decent. Made good passing forward. Involved in one of our chances as well late on, and he was playing pretty confidently. So yeah, 6.5 Pelly.
Fair enough. And then Elijah, obviously, massive part in the goal we got. Obviously being dangerous in the box. Like I say, if he could do that more, then it would just be even better. Because, like I say, he's got the technical ability. There was a lot of times at the start of the season where he was starting the games alongside Morris, and he just weren't getting in the box, and it's frustrating for us to watch because we know he can be good in the box. We've seen it with goals he scored over the years. But obviously, he affected that goal. So shout out to him there. And again, I thought he was decent. When he come on, obviously, barring that as well. So I'll go. You know what? For Elijah, I'm going to go with 7.
Yeah, narrow. I won't give him a 7. I'll give him a 6.5. Definitely created that goal really. And later on, when Barkley burst into the box, he had a chance as well, which they blocked. But he's in the box. He's getting in positions. I think obviously had more chances than Morris did. But again, potentially down to the way we just thought, well, let's get forward more. But we'll find that balance between defending too much and then going, we're 3-0 down, might as well try and, you know what I mean? But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to Giles, like I say, it felt a little bit weird seeing him because we haven't seen him for a while. But I understood it, to be honest. Like, obviously, Doughty didn't have the best of games we've seen him in, and Giles as well. As much as we're 3-0 down, he can provide them crosses into the box and make us have them chances, sort of thing. But just getting into the swing of it, it's like saying we haven't really seen him for a while. Obviously, he's been on the bench a few times, but he hasn't come on. So I'm just going to go with standard 6.
Yeah, same. He weren't terrible when he come on. He didn't really have enough time to affect anything. But again, he's another guy that I can see potentially maybe starting again against Liverpool. Doughty needs a rest, but hopefully there's better news. Hopefully Bell's potentially back for that game. Gives us a little bit more options, and at least have defender. If we ain't got any defenders on the bench against Liverpool, and anyone gets injured, knocked, or we're 3-0, do you know what I mean? We're done. So hopefully he's back, but yeah, 6.
Yeah. But yeah, that is all the ratings. So obviously, if we, what the best player for me was Menji. Close between him and Chio. Best player for you was Chio. But yeah, that is that. Overall, I expected it to be that sort of game. I expected us to play a little bit better, I'll be honest, even though I said 3-1, I thought we'd not be as, passive as we was. But again, it was always going to be a difficult game. Villa, the form they're on. At least we didn't, lose as what they would say the better teams did. Obviously Brighton. At least we didn't lose in that manner. West Ham, but yeah, can't afford to be that passive, like you say, especially at home. Against like Liverpool, for example, this weekend. But yeah, any final thoughts you want to say on the game?
Yeah, we kept Watkins quiet, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, that was a good thing. Yeah, true.
So yeah, there's that. The way we did sort of try and go forward, and that gave him a little bit of a game towards the end, but it was just too late. But it could have been a lot worse. So, I did say it could potentially be our first pasting, and it wasn't a pasting, but comfortable for them. When it comfortable,
Yeah.
We've got some tough games coming up, but we didn't really expect anything. Let's be honest.
No, both predicted a loss. You know, you got to be realistic with the form they're on. You know.
So yeah,
Yeah,
onwards.
no, absolutely. Spencer says pretty tough run of games for the Hatters. Villa away, so we just played that. Paul at home, and then obviously Man United. Yeah, no, that's why I said, you know, going into that Forest game as well, you know, a point I would take it because one, the City ground's tough to go to, and you know, you look at these games, and if I'm being honest, it's going to be difficult to get free. You know, let's just be realistic now. You know, Villa, obviously they'll fire. Liverpool game, obviously, will save that. Man United, as much as they're not on great form, it's at Old Trafford. You know, and you do see some dodgy decisions there. Look at when Wolves played them, for example. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, big up to Geordie. He says, "Away, lads. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself." I only noticed we've actually got Newcastle. I think 2 days. 2 days before Christmas at Luton. So that'll be an interesting one. It's going to be a difficult game for sure, but it's going to be interesting because it's at Kenilworth Road. And Stephen says Villa were a class outfit. Yeah, no, they were, mate. Like I say, you're always going to be a difficult game. But yeah, a few more things to get into before we do wrap up. So yeah, a bit of a talking point. You know, we'll talk about it because you know it's our former manager, and the question has been asked. Our thoughts on it. Nathan Jones has obviously been linked to Millwall. This is what Chris has to say on it. I think Championship is his level. I'd expect him to do well. He struggled at Stoke, but look what happened. Bounce back, wasn't given a chance at Southampton. Totally agree. You know, Stoke as well. I think a lot of their players had egos. You know, similar to Southampton, where they're like, "Who's this guy coming in? You know, being my manager." Essentially, you know, even with his little spell at Southampton, he beat Man City. You know, people go, "Oh, it's only a League Cup, red to tell." Still a major trophy. And Man City's rotational team is ridiculous. You know, and he outplayed them. So, you know, for me, him going to Millwall, if it is true, you know, if there is a heavy, you know, obviously it's a rumor, I think he'll do all right. And this is what I've said. If he gets backed, I think he'll do all right for a team. You know, if they back him straight away and they're not just, you know, in on his case like Southampton were, you know, I think he'll do all right. But Dad, your thoughts on this?
Mate, that could work. I could see why they're looking at him. You know, they're similar size club to Luton. Yeah, they've got that siege mentality that we've got. It's a good fit. Because you could see at times over the seasons that they are very similar to Luton, and they're normally in and around the playoffs. Certain sort, you know, players very similar, and I think it'd work well. And I do think a lot of their fans probably would give him a chance, because although they, you know, probably don't like us, they probably give us a lot of props when he was our manager, and I think it'd work pretty well there. And I think he'll surprise people if he does go there. I think they will start climbing the table. January he'll probably bring certain players in, and that obviously we know Campbell's there. He'll definitely be, because I've noticed since the caretaker manager's been in, Campbell's not even started any games whatsoever. You know, which is quite surprising. But yeah, I think if he wants it, because they're obviously interested in him, then yeah, it'd be a good fit for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was about to say the Campbell thing. Obviously, he got him in, didn't he, for us? And to be fair, yeah, it's a weird one with Millwall, with the sense of them, you know, since their interim managers, you know, come in, he's not started him, because even before Campbell, you know, the first couple of games I saw, he wasn't playing in his, you know, normal sort of position. But then even when they're playing Preston, who are still doing all right as far as I'm aware, I know dropped off a little bit, but even so, they drew 1-1, didn't they? Midweek and not midweek, sorry, 12:30 game, opening Championship game, I think that week, or it might have been a Friday game. But anyway, Campbell got the assist, you know, and I think that might have been the manager's last game, maybe. So I don't know why he's not been starting him. You know, he's been affecting the games. to be honest, I don't know why we didn't keep him. And I think, now we're sort of seeing that we sort of need someone like him, especially with us changing the midfield up, a little bit Rudder, Barkley. It's not ideal that you want to put Barkley there, in my opinion, just because he's an attacking player. But then again, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, I think he'll do decent. If they back him, which I agree, I think they will, because like I say, it's similar to us. Even when we played him last season, in that 0-0 game, I think we were sort of similar. I don't really look at stats and that, but they were showing him before, and they were quite similar in the sense. I think the table, we were very similar. Obviously, I remember both of us predicting a draw. In that game, because just cancel each other out. So yeah, I think it'll do well there on that. But yeah, big up for that. But yeah, I think that's everything that we want to get into. Dad, any final things you'd like to say? Obviously, we will be doing a preview, hopefully a very interesting preview on Friday. Yeah, any final things you'd like to say?
No, just carry on, innit? Keep calm, carry on. We're still, we're in a relegation battle as it is, but we're not adrift, and which is what people worried about, or media portray us to be. We're far from that. So keep the faith, and then let's see. I still think that we will beat a top 4 team at home. And let's hope it could potentially start with Liverpool. So you never know.
That would be brilliant. I'm just having a quick look at the manager odds for Millwall, and Nathan Jones is apparently 1-1.
Who's after him?
What do you mean, Millwall? I'm just looking at Millwall. Look, I'll show you. I shouldn't get anything wrong for this. I'm just sharing the screen. But yeah, look at this. You see it, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, things froze. Oh, they're going back. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Muscat. Bill.
Sure that is. Michael Bill, he was Rangers, wasn't he?
Yeah, I've heard that he potentially go back to QPR. Don't know if they're wanting, but there's potentially that.
I'll tell you what Euston's would be bad. Obviously, he done well with Birmingham. I don't know why they sacked him.
But the odds are quite high. He's probably
probably wants to chill a little bit. Yeah.
Warnock now is not the right fit for me.
Can't see it.
Been there before. Can't see him going in for him again. Definitely not Steve Bruce.
No. I mean, look at the odds. It tells you all you need to know.
Dean Smith.
I can maybe see that just because he has that experience in the Championship. Doing well with Villa.
Probably holding out for a higher job. Lampard, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not Mark Kennedy.
No. Ryan Mason? No.
No chance. Mourinho, potentially, but I'm pretty sure that he's gonna stick with Portsmouth. Neil Harris is a good one.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? Gillingham, yeah, he was good. Yeah,
the right fit. I don't think so. He needs something fresh. Wild, I don't know. Emma Hayes, definitely
no chance.
Not because she's a woman, just the whole Chelsea link, and no, it's just never going to work. That sorry. So yeah, Graham Potter, no chance.
No, I can't see him dropping that.
All these guys, Kevin, no.
Yeah, math. Look at the odds, though. To be fair,
and they just get bored. Yeah, and if you scroll right to the top, it's pretty. It's I'd say it's out of Jones and go down again. Jones and Eustace for me. It's out of them too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
If Jones wants it, he's there. He'll be announced.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because it's the right time to do it as well. And he'll definitely get going. He'll definitely work his magic there, 100%. And let's see what he's learned, what he's been learning since then, you know, because obviously we played in a certain way, intensity and stuff, and he would have done things differently if he was our manager in the Premier League. So yeah, let's see. I'm quite intrigued.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, that's everything that we, you know, have decided to discuss. Obviously, the Villa game, the main priority. But yeah, again, big up to Lewis for this super chat. Big up yourself, mate. Much appreciated for that. Like I say, good luck to Villa for the rest of the season, except when they play us in the reverse fixture. But no, like I say, I want you guys to win the Conference League, similar to, you know, when West Ham done it. But you'd be sick, to be honest. But yeah, don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. We're currently on 11 likes, so do smash that like button if you haven't already. As for new subscribers, we gained 2 the other day, I noticed, since that Tyson Fury watch along. So big up to yourselves for that. And big up to everyone that tuned into that as well. That got over 1,000 views. So big up to yourselves for that. And yeah, follow me across any of my socials if you're not already. Do subscribe to the other channel as well. Big up again. Just remember, the few new subscribers on the extra channel, we're getting even closer to 100 on that. We're currently on 94. So yeah, I think we gained like 3 or 4 the other day. So big up to yourselves. But yeah, like I say, subscribe to that. Obviously, a link to that is in the description. And yeah, as for content, obviously we're back again with a hat show on Friday. Going to be a good one. And then obviously on Sunday, I'll be back again with someone you would have seen on the channel before for a watch along to the game. So yeah, obviously with 4:30, do you know what I mean? On a Sunday, back-to-back Sunday games. And then obviously we're back with Saturday 3 p.m. game against Man United next week. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, like I say, smash a like, subscribe, all of that if you haven't already. And yeah, follow me across any of your socials, subscribe to the other channel, notification bells on. And yeah, until Friday, we will see you later. So have a good rest of your week. And yeah, roll on Friday. Take care and peace. Up the town still.